they come out clean.
Yo, what's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? Back at it. 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 Hold on. 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 Back at it. Back at it. Back at another one.
Another one.
Another one. Another one. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Let me get right. Let me get right real quick. Let me get right.
You're right. Oh man, the fatigue is settling in already.
Have to.
30 seconds
fatigue settling in. Year 19, man. What can I say? It's not the same as it used to be in 2007, man. What can I say? Birds in the buckets. We are back at it. Back better than ever. Hold on. There we go. There we go.
Yes, sir.
You know the vibes. You know
yes,
the
sir.
vibes.
Yes,
like,
sir.
Shut it down. Shut it down.
Yes,
Shut
sir.
it down.
Throwback.
Shut it down.
But hold on.
Throwback.
Man. I had to let people know, man. Birds in the Buckets, episode 803. We've been away for 2 years. We apologize for that. I had to go take my dog out to the restroom, but we are back. Rashad Milligan, Malik Brown. How are you doing today, sir?
For sure, living good, brother. Always thankful. Always thankful to be here on a Sunday, man.
You know what I'm thankful for, Malik?
Yes, sir. Let's talk about it.
Prize Picks, man.
Yeah.
Prize Picks, man. The best app for everything. You know, you get the points, you get the fantasy things, you get to watch the game. Just tuned in. And if you sign up today with the promo code ASU right now for Atlanta Sports Unlimited, you can be a winner too, just like Malik Brown. Our wonderful hand model is shown right now on the screen. Malik, let them know what's going on over there in your life with Prize Picks.
Man, look, life has been good. And you know what, guys? Something I learned the past 2 weeks. They give you these free promos for just out of the random. You know, you get random emails. Hey man, we're gonna add this much to your promo, this much. So you don't gotta. Sometimes you ain't gotta put no cash in. They gonna give it to you for free. They gonna give it to you.
What did Nipsey Hussle say? No money in, all money out, man.
All money out. Let's get it, man. So look, man, I didn't do anything today. But look, so they still got 10 o'clock games on. So, you know, they got Julius Randle right here, 21.5 points. And I don't like the way Julius and Nick been playing recently. So I'll go under on something like that. You feel me? You know, they got Reggie Jackson on here, 20.5 points. Over or under. And I like the way Reggie been playing lately, though. So I might go over on that. Look, man, it's
High
all
step
about
Reggie, the drum major.
Look, if you got some analysis, if you got some analysts, you know, take them up, you know, look, hit us up. We can talk some hoops. We let y'all know what's going on. Man, Prize Picks is the way to go, man. Prize Picks
unless it's Luka. Always go under on Luka Doncic. Always go under on Luka Doncic. Because what? Luka Doncic can be a good player. Not on this podcast. We be haters. But you guys enjoy, man. Promo code is ASU. Use that when you sign up. Download the app today. Stop doing nothing with your life. You're sitting on the couch. You're eating out a tub of ice cream. Your mom's yelling at you because you haven't brushed your teeth in a week. Go ahead and download Prize Picks and make you some fantasy points. I didn't say anything else. Make you some fantasy points because that will turn into whatever else you want to. Let's get into it, guys. Man, we got it. We got a special guest in the building today, all the way from the greatest school in the world of the ATL, Georgia. We have Mr. Julian Harden. Julian, how are you doing tonight?
Hey, great to be on, man. Always state not Southern here, man. Love it.
Yeah.
Love being on here.
Man, you know, it's nothing but a G thing, you know, G State thing to be exact. But we got to bring it up, man. NBA standings. The Hawks have been winning lately. It still doesn't look good. I'm doubling down. It still doesn't look good. The offense doesn't look good. It's ISO Trey. Get the ball to Bogey, ISO Bogey, jab, and jump shot. And you kind of just cross your fingers and just hope that the jump shot goes in. But that's what the offense has been. I don't like the way the offense looks. The defense can still be a bit lackluster. The good news is DeAndre Hunter is playing better. He was playing really bad. He's playing a little better now. And Bogey is playing better. So, I mean, Bogey has finally showed up to the party the last couple of weeks, and he's playing well. Just fellas, first things first, how are you feeling about the recent shrink of Hawks games?
Man, I mean, it's like the whole year has been a roller coaster. I mean, right when you think that the team is headed in the right direction, they find a way to kind of segue you to make you think like they're like a lottery team. So this is kind of like this has been the memo. Like a lot of Hawks fans are saying that we're gonna beat the Pistons tomorrow. I can't really say that for sure. Honestly, the way this team's playing, I don't really know. We did lose to the Rockets and Blazers early in the season, so I like the way the team is playing. And also Brooklyn lost today, so that means we're only, I think, like at most a game out of the away from ninth, and also not that far from eighth place. So we still have a shot, but we can't let ourselves get too high or too low on this team.
Yeah, man. And with that roller coaster, it just seems like there's a new narrative, like in different segments of the year. I think we're in this season right now where it's this segment of the season where it's like, what team are we going to see on a night to night basis? You feel me? Like I tweeted something out last week. I was like, you never know what you're going to get from the Hawks in the second half of games. You never know. You watched the Celtics game last week. Amazing. Even Trey went down. They still found a way to create some offense with ball movement. I want to stick on that ball movement. So of course, Trey still had a good game, but second, and I think they were up 14 going into halftime. They come out of halftime, the Celtics completely bull rushed them. Okay. And then, you get games like the Bulls game last week after All-Star break, they come down, solid game until the last, 2-3 minutes where Trey wants to be Trey, but he's not Trey the entire game. You got to give it to the guys that are hot. Gallo or Bogey, one of those guys, and they lose the game. So then you got the Raptors game they played. Completely didn't look great in the first half. Second half, completely bull rushed the Raptors. So it's just, you never know what you're going to get out of these Hawks now. I mean, 2 wins in a row is good. They should beat the Pistons, but they should have beat a lot of teams this season and did not. So, look, man, at this point, they always say, never look into the future, always take it one game at a time. That's what you got to do with this team. Take it one game at a time. Don't look into the future, and whatever happens, happens.
I mean, you guys pretty much summed it up best there. When you look at it, we were talking about on the other recording and stuff, just how competitive the East is this season. You look at the West, the Lakers are in ninth. They're 7 games under 500. The Hawks are only 1 game under 500. They're the 10th seed. The Wizards are only 6 games under 500, and they're not even in the play-in. So it's just so competitive this year in the East. My question to you guys, if the season ended today and the Hawks played the Hornets to get into the playoffs, who wins that game in Charlotte and why?
Oh boy, I'll toss one of Malik. I got to decide on that one. These that would be a tough game.
I'm gonna say I'm not being biased. I think I'm taking the Hawks. I think I'm definitely taking the Hawks. I just feel like when it comes to pressure situation, and one thing we have to realize, this team does play differently under some type of pressure. Like when it seems like it's a game where it's like, dang, this is a must win. Like they gotta kind of win this game. It's kind of like they come through. And when it comes to playing, it's one game and you're out. So, and I think I'm taking the Hawks chances with that. Hornets really haven't been in that environment yet. Well, they were in the playing last
year. They were in the playing
last year. They were in the playing last year. So I guess they do have some type of experience with this. But yeah, the Hawks have been through 3 series so far, 3 playoff series. So I got to give it to them. I think they have the best player out of both teams. So I think Trey will come through if they were to play each other.
You think Trey's better than Miles Bridges, but I think with this, yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Malik. I think the safe pick are the Hawks just because of how they play, like how Gallo, because it's not even just Trey, right? Trey's gonna show up every game, like whether it's bad or good, like he's gonna get 25 and 10 every single game. So everybody else, it's the Bogies, it's the Gallos, it's the Lou Williams. Those are the guys who like really change it. They go into a different gear when games matter. I don't know if it's because it's like they're veteran, just being around the league for so long, but you go even back to before their days with the Hawks. You look at Lou Williams, taking Golden State, pushing them to the brink a couple of years ago in the playoffs when it was just him and Pat Bev and Montrezl Harrell doing their thing for the Clippers out there and, going further than what they should have gone. And then you think of Gallo, obviously, in the bubble with OKC, the team that had no chance of making the playoffs before the season started, and being, contenders in the pest and the bubble in the playoffs at the end of that season. So, I mean, that's just my thing. It's like those vets, the other guys, the Hawks win because of the other guys, not because of Trey. So that's why I think the Hawks will win that game in that situation in Charlotte. But Charlotte's a tough team. They play the Hawks extremely well, especially in Charlotte lately. So it's not a gimme. It's not a guarantee, but I'll go with the Hawks just because it's the safer pick right now.
Yeah.
But look though, they wouldn't even they wouldn't even play if the plan started today, they wouldn't play the Hornets. They play the Nets.
Wait. So it's 9, 10, 7, 8? I thought it was 7.
So it's
I thought it was
7 versus. Is it 7 versus 10?
7 versus.
Oh wait,
8,
hold on.
And then it's 9 versus
tripping.
10.
I'm tripping. It's 7 versus 10, 8 versus 9. My math was off. I was a journalism major. The Raptors. 10. Oh, they for sure winning that.
No, they play the Nets.
They play the Nets. They play 9, 10. It ain't no 9, 10. It's 7, 10, 8, 9, right?
No.
Let me pull up the play. Let me pull up the play.
It's 7 versus 8 and 9 versus 10. Whoever wins against 7 and 8.
Oh, they losing against the Nets in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Like,
Cam Reddish not on the team anymore. That was their only hope against Brooklyn.
I mean, I will say that I think the Hawks as a team lend themselves better to a one game. I feel like one game they would probably do better in a series because I can't count on them to be consistent in a series. But hey, Trey has been in a tough crowd before in New York, so it's not like he isn't used to it. So I don't think they'll be riled by the crowd. It's just kind of like a talent. Like you have, like as you're saying with the Hornets, the Hawks have a better player than the Hornets do in Trae Young. But you got Kevin Durant, and we don't know if Kyrie Irving will play in that game. I don't know if they will, depending on what New York State law does. But then you have Seth Curry, who absolutely buried us in the playoffs last year with the Sixers. That guy was automatic. And then Simmons might be back, and his defense. So. Yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if the Hawks won, but I could see it wouldn't. But the Nets winning would. I'll put money on the Nets winning, because I just couldn't see the Hawks outdoing the Nets in any facet, honestly.
All due respect to Julius Randle and Joel Embiid, they are not Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant will score 100 points by himself in a one game. He almost did it when James Harden went out, Kyrie Irving went out. And it was literally, like he said, if he didn't wear a size 18 shoe, they will be in the Eastern Conference Finals last year instead of Milwaukee. So, I mean, we've seen Durant in winner-take-all situations do what he's done. I mean, of course, since OKC. Because OKC, when they blew the 3-1 lead against Golden State, that was a whole different story. But ever since then, in winner-take-all situations, he's been absolute money. So, yeah. I think it's pretty much KD versus Trey in a situation like that. And all due respect to Trey, he's not exactly, top 15 all time right now. And I don't think that's a slight at all. I think Trey would agree with me. So,
and we just saw Kevin Durant lead like a hapless Team USA team to gold in the Summer Olympics. And so I could easily see him doing the same thing with this Nets team. I mean,
but one game changes the dynamic, as you mentioned as well. So. If they won, I don't want to hear, "Oh, Rashad, you a hater," blah blah blah. Go ahead, clip it. I do not care. But yeah. Okay, so is 9-10? Is 9-10?
Yeah, I just
7, 8?
Look on the site. It's 9-10.
So, say the Hawks, they pulled a miracle and they won and they got the 8th seed. Who wins? Toronto and Charlotte.
Toronto. I'll give it to Toronto.
I got Charlotte.
Oh, Raptors and Hornets. I'll take Raptors.
I got Charlotte.
I'll take Raptors.
So now you got the Hawks at 8, and you got the Raptors at 7. And then you got the Hawks play the Heat first. You have
But that's a tough hill to climb to win 2 playing games, and then you got to play the number 1 seed.
Oh, you got to play 2 playing games. I thought it was just one.
Yeah, because
the fact that the Hawks are the ninth and 10th seed are going to have to play 2 games to get into.
Like last year with the Warriors.
Yep.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
they played the Grizzlies and then they played the Lakers.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, they played the
Same.
Lakers then the Grizzlies. Because I
They
think
did.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, they
yeah, and the
played the
Grizzlies
Lakers,
won,
yeah.
and then the Grizzlies played
and then
Utah.
they played the yep.
Because then I think the
yeah.
Grizzlies also had to play San Antonio, I believe, in that playing game before they reached the Warriors. So
Yeah, all I remember was that Golden State game and that Utah series.
Yeah.
Because that game was on fire.
It'd be beneficial for them to get out of 9 or 10.
I mean, it's gonna be tough for them. I mean, the Hawks dug themselves in this hole, so they gotta find the way. They gotta pull themselves out of it. I mean, it's not gonna be easy because I think the Raptors have won the season series against the Hawks, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's 2-1 Toronto.
Yeah.
So the Hawks will have to play the Raptors after beating the Nets.
If it's standings
Yeah.
are like that way, yeah.
You think the Hawks can
whoever
win
loses
both of those
between
games?
7 and 8, whoever loses between 7 and 8, that's who the
Oh,
Hawks are gonna have to play for the 8th spot.
okay.
Because
So
whoever
y'all got
wins
them
against
playing the
7 and 8,
Hornets.
take a 7.
Oh, so you think the Hawks had to beat the Nets and the Hornets?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, if the Hornets beat the Raptors, if the Hornets lose, then yeah, they have to play the Hornets.
That's a tough 2 games, man.
And it is.
I don't think they're getting out. I don't think they're getting out.
Because like the Nets are tough enough, and then you gotta play the loser of the Raptors and Hornets, which is gonna be a tough game already. Because I think we've lost to both of those teams. It's been hard playing both of those teams this season. And then if you win that game, you probably have to play Miami in the first round.
Mhm.
Exactly. And what do you think they can do with Miami in the series?
I think Miami takes it in 5. Like, I'm just being honest. I think Miami in 5.
Well, there it is. The Hawks have no chance. All right, that's another episode of Birds in the Buckets, y'all. Y'all take care. Everybody go around and give y'all socials.
I mean, it's like
We don't got nothing else to talk
I mean,
about.
I'll happily eat my words on that, but like I can't see the Hawks the way they play beating the Heat in the series. It's just like Jimmy Butler's a dog, and then you have Bam, and and even Harrell's coming back doing well. Yeah, Tyler Harrell's coming back and doing well. So and this team was in the finals a couple of years ago, which I feel like a lot of people forget, including myself sometimes. Like the Heat they have a better coach. They have more experience, so it's hard for me to really go against the Heat. Against the Hawks. I'm not sure if you guys disagree, but to me, it'll be hard for the Hawks to beat the Heat in the series.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm not a big Heat believer. Like the way that people are like, I got the Heat coming out the East. I don't have the Heat
coming out the East per se. Just like
no.
Hawks.
I'm just saying the general hype around them this year with Lowry and Oladipo coming back, and I'm not buying it yet.
I still think the Bucks come out of the East.
Oladipo coming back tomorrow.
Philly's tough, man.
I mean, yeah, but Philadelphia, like every year, is this dynamic duo supposed to do something. Whether it was Embiid and Jimmy Butler, and then it's supposed to be Embiid and Simmons. None of those 2 times worked, but before then it was like, oh no, the Sixers are totally the team to beat this time. Like we've seen James Harden fail with good co-stars before. So I don't see why anyone should really believe in the Sixers now. To me, it's the Bucks or the Bulls for the East.
No.
I ain't taking the Bulls.
Chicago's. I trust Chicago. But lately they've been kind of like that Hawks loss was bad. They had no reason losing that game, man.
Bro, they're like 0-12 against like over 500
good teams. Yeah, against good teams. Yeah, I saw that. That's not good at all.
But they are missing like their top defenders as well. So I'll give them that grace. But
because they're losing Caruso.
You still got your best 3 players though. So
they don't have Caruso, right?
Yeah, they don't have Caruso or Alonzo.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. That shouldn't excuse a 0-12 record against like good teams. I mean,
DeMarcus going on a crazy little MVP run, low key.
Do you guys really think he's gonna? I don't like.
I don't think he will.
Yeah, like he's good, but like not MVP.
That's Embiid or Jokic.
Jokic, yep.
Is
Jokic threw Giannis's name in there. Giannis is killing too.
Giannis Giannis been in the MVP conversation. He did win the past 2 years.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's one of those things when it's like when it's like people take his greatness for granted, like LeBron a few years ago.
LeBron.
A few years ago, not LeBron.
Yeah, because technically LeBron, if you think about it, was the best player, especially with Miami, for like 4 or 5 years straight. So
he has 4.
I mean, yeah, but I'm saying you probably could have given him more based on the fact that he carries almost like the dude was like 30, 37, 38, and he's carrying the Lakers still. You know, he'd put up 55 and get the Lakers
to a 9th seed, 7 games under 500.
Exactly. But then again, that's kind of his fault for asking for like Carmelo and
exactly
and Russell to be on his team.
And Rajon Rondo.
Well, he got 4 MVPs.
Yeah, he has 4.
He how many did he win with the Heat? 2?
I think 2. 2 with the Heat, 2 with Cleveland the first time.
With Cleveland the first. Oh, okay. So he didn't win anything after he went back to Cleveland.
Nah.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
It's been a minute since he won one.
Do you guys really think he goes back to Cleveland? Because I don't see why Cleveland would want LeBron. Like they already have a good team. Why would you want to
take him for the vet minimum?
The one last dance to get him to retire as a Cav. You know, he is the greatest player in franchise history. You know, so
yeah.
They got something good going on in Cleveland. I'm not sure you want to disrupt that with a farewell tour. I know he's great and all, but like, you know, don't disrupt what you have. Even though Cleveland's kind of fallen down quite a bit recently.
You get LeBron in there, you know. I mean, just be like LeBron. You can't make any trades, bro. Just know that.
You're not trading.
Doing like Pat Riley did him.
Yeah, don't trade Evan Mobley.
Oh yeah. Just trade Evan Mobley for Kevin Love. Kevin Love's already on the team. Let's do it anyway.
Has anyone else forgot about Kevin Love exists? I know sometimes I do.
Yeah, sometimes for sure, 100%. But I mean, that's really all I have, honestly, this week, because it's like if the Hawks can't do anything, you know, what is the point? But I guess like to move on, you know, now that you're in the middle of the pack, you're not going to play your first round pick because he's not a lottery pick. Where do the Hawks go from here? What do they do now?
I mean, it depends on what, because I really feel like I feel like they came into the season, they thought they could run it back and it didn't work. I mean, it was a great idea and all, but other teams got better and you didn't. But I feel like depending on how much money they had to play with, I feel like if you can make some kind of trade again, another shot creator, and you have to bring someone in next to Trey, because everyone talks about how good this offense is. When you take Trey off, or when Trey's terrible, this offense is terrible. And Bogey and Hunter, they're just way too inconsistent to really rely on to be secondary scorers. And listen, I know when there were rumors of CJ McCollum, the Hawks possibly trading for CJ McCollum, people were like, no, don't bring him in here. He sucks on defense. But like, next to Trey, who are you going to count on to score points for you? Trey's not playing well, or if Trey's hurt, which he sometimes gets hurt quite a bit. CJ could, you know, come in and drop 25 or create his own shot on offense. You don't have that. John's a number 3 most likely, and I feel like this offseason you got to find a guy who can get next to Trey, create his own shot. I mean, I think Levine's a free agent, but it's hard to see if him leaving Chicago, and it depends on what happens to Bradley Beal. But I feel like you need the shot creator next to Trae Young.
Yeah, I mean, I just going back to the trade deadline. I mean, I don't think that they should have done anything on the trade deadline. I mean, they were like 10th in the East. I don't think a move was going to like push them in the top 6 or anything like that. So staying pat was cool. But I mean, when you look at I guess more specifically just Philly just making that move and getting Harden was just like, okay, you're looking at the top 5 seeds in the East right now, and you see one common thing with them. They have two stars on each of the teams. With the Heat, you got Jimmy and Bam. With the Bucks, of course, you got 3 with the Bucks. You got two with the Bulls. Then you got 2 with the Sixers. It's like with the Hawks, it's just Trae Young and a bunch of role players. So it's like, and nobody in my eyes has stepped up and taken and just grabbed that number 2 spot.
Are
It's
we
just
having
always.
the $100 million conversation again? Say it ain't
I
so.
mean, I'm shoot. It looks like that's where it's heading. Because I
You
mean,
getting paid triple digits, and we're still having this conversation. Who can be the number 2 for the Atlanta Hawks? And then don't say, oh, the season just started. Everybody blames everything on him. Everything is not his fault. It's March. The playoffs start in April.
It's 60 games in.
What are we talking about here, man?
A lot
It
of
is
people
what it
saying it's
is
too
because
soon.
and the reason why people were talking about what they were talking about before the contract was even extended or signed and signed, sealed, delivered, it's because it's the same thing that we have seen the past couple or ever since Trey's gotten there. It's the same thing, same story. You know, sometimes could disappear, go away on offense. Or sometimes, you know, could be a little too dependent on Trey. Sometimes, you know, there's so much stuff, and it's like everything doesn't show up on a stat sheet. Look, Trey, he got in Trey's face and he pushed him out the way. Those are things you can't teach. Solomon Hill did the same thing. Did we give Solomon Hill? Did the Hawks give Solomon Hill $100,000 or $100 million? No, they did not, because that would sound silly to give someone $100 million to be a good person and to do the little things. You signed a person on a bed. Anyways, continue with your point.
But yeah, I mean, when I just think that they need a second star, man. Like Julian said, when Trey comes off the court, man, it's just like a whole different, you know, team. Like it's kind of hard, like, to know who you want to stagger with him, because it's like, I mean, right now the obvious choice is Bogey, because Bogey's been hot of late. So I mean, of course, you know, you're gonna put him in the game when Trey's not in there. And, you know, still have some offense, but like I'm talking about like a legit number 2. I'm not talking about no like, like, you know, he can turn it on and off, and you know he can do. I'm talking about like a legit number 2, where it's like when we know when Trey goes off the court, the Hawks are in good shape. That's the type of number 2 we need. They need whatever. But yeah, I think that's what's gonna come down to. I don't know. And nobody knows who that number 2 is. You feel me? So that's the hard part. That's the hard part, trying to figure out who the number 2 is going to be. I mean, you can get a situation where, you know, Harden just came out of the blue and was like, you know, I don't want to be here anymore. Boom. So the Sixers had the perfect thing. You don't know who's going to be the next one. People thought it was going to be Jaylen Brown. Jaylen Brown look happy right now. No lie, they look happy right now.
Oh, man.
Bradley Beal.
Come on,
Bradley
man.
Beal, don't know if he's going to opt in or opt out. But you don't have the money to sign him unless you cutting or trading some people. Right. Who else? Zion. I mean, they talking about Zion too. Not sure about that.
Zion played 10 games in 2 years.
Preach. So who's next? Donovan Mitchell? I like Donovan Mitchell, but I don't like. It's too many. Like
two small guards.
I don't like that.
I mean, to be fair, before the season started, I was thinking that the only time I would like look at trading players like Collins or Hunter if it was someone for like Towns, like, you know, Cat, because I mean, that guy, he could legitimately play next to Trey, but the Wolves are winning now. So Cat is off the table. That's another issue. We don't know who's going to come from. Like when I looked on like free agents, I think the only one I possibly saw was like Zach LaVine, but to me, it's highly unlikely that the Bulls don't re-sign Zach LaVine. I mean, is there a chance that I know the Suns extend a qualifying offer to Ayton? Like, if the Suns can't come to agreement with Ayton, do you part ways with someone like with Capella, and do you go with Ayton? But I doubt that's going to happen. It's just, you know, the Hawks need a second star. I just don't know who it's going to be and how they're even going to acquire that player. It's going to be an issue.
Oh, it's really just
the Hawks are in no man's land.
They got to trade for LeBron. You got to trade for LeBron. LeBron is on the block. AD is on the block.
I don't know how you guys feel about this.
He doesn't play, so trade for LeBron. Go ahead.
I don't know how you guys feel about this, but to me, I'm getting, my biggest fear was that the Hawks would kind of revert back to the 2010s Hawks. Like the 2010 era, they were okay, they were good, but like that team, aside from one trip to the Eastern Conference Finals, they were just kind of there in the playoffs. they would maybe get out the first round and they get absolutely stomped by a superstar, whether it be Dwight Howard, LeBron James, didn't matter. We were an afterthought in the playoffs. And what they did every year was stand pat, and they were just okay. I'm kind of worried that the Hawks may be return to that fashion where they're just kind of like an okay team. They have that one superstar player. He'll make the All-Star game, but will they go far? Aside from one great run, maybe not. That's my biggest fear with the Hawks. Reverting back to the 2010 Joe Johnson, Josh Smith era, that team that would never really go anywhere. They were just, okay.
The only way you can change that is through the draft. And if you don't play your draft picks, how can you even know? That's the biggest problem to me this season. You didn't play your draft picks. And both of them were pretty good draft picks. Everybody around the league said they were good draft picks. They look good in the summer league. They look good in the G League. What's going on? I don't get it. You didn't play and you were losing. You were losing a lot, and you still wouldn't play him. It was like, for what? You playing Bogdanovich from the Marietta recreational team when everybody had COVID, and you still couldn't play Jalen Johnson, the number 90. I didn't get it at all.
Don't forget Lance Stevenson played him.
Lance Stevenson didn't play basketball in 10 years. The last time he played was in the 2014 Eastern Conference Finals. First time he played in 8 years. You almost signed IT. The marathon continues. You almost signed Jamal Crawford. I just need a chance, another day, another opportunity, 100 emoji. Why weren't you playing your rookies?
Nate McMillan's an old school coach. I mean, he always trusts his veterans over rookies. Something he did in Indiana. Something I think he did briefly, I think, when he was in Seattle. I mean, back in the early 2000s. That's who he is. And I guess I'm not sure. I'll probably segue this to another conversation. I mean, do you guys really think that Nate is going to be the coach that really leads the Hawks to the promised land? I mean, listen, Nate took us out of what was a bad situation, bad relationship with Lloyd Pierce. We had a great run. This year, he's been trying to, do his own thing. It's not really worked. Now, I'm not saying he's not on the hot seat, but next year, if this happens again, I mean, can you really say he's the right man for the job? Because the way the league's going, these kind of old school coaches are getting pushed out for the former players who former players are now becoming coaches like Steve Nash or Steve Kerr. Now they're becoming coaches.
And Nate McMillan is a former coach, FIA.
Yeah. Just I think that I'm not sure. Nate is a good coach. We saw what he did in Indiana, but is he the right coach going forward for the Hawks? I don't really know. And I don't think that we should use last year's run to kind of absolve him of, criticism, because, this year from every metric, the Hawks would be a disappointment. And so I wonder if he's the right guy going forward.
Well, I gotta shout out to some of the Peachtree guys that we know, because it's crazy because they kind of caught this when this all happened with Nate coming in and everything. I mean, last season was last season. He comes in middle of the season and everything just changes. I mean, I'm pretty sure it was because also the Hawks wanted a new voice on the team, but I mean, the offense has just changed from when it was last year to this year. I mean, of course, when Nate came in last year, we're not going to change up a lot of things. We're going to keep the same things, and I'm going to sprinkle in a little bit of what I do. And with that, you see the offense was pretty good. And look, the Hawks are number 2 in offense right now, so offense shouldn't be the big problem. I mean, of course, we all know it's defense because they're a bottom 5 team, but at the same time, it's like some of the stuff that we've seen over this season with Nate implementing his entire system. It's like, dang, bro, like does his system fit with these players? You feel me? Like, everybody has said that he's an old school coach, he's not like a coach that likes pace. But the Hawks have a whole lot of young guys that like to run and everything like that. So, I mean, I don't know if his offense fits this team, but at this point, it's kind of like it don't really matter because he on contract for 3 more years. You just signed the guy for 4 whole years. You're not just finna fire him You not, so you got to deal with it. Something got to shake. So I mean, at this point, you kind of just got to live in your own dirt.
Yeah, I wasn't advocating for like fire him this year. I just feel like someone like he and Tibbs are kind of in the same boat. Like he and Tibbs had really good years with teams that weren't expected to have good years. Tibbs took the Knicks to the playoffs, and the Hawks made a run with McMillan to the Eastern Conference Finals. Now both, as we see in the standings, both are far below expectations. And you know, the teams are fans of both teams are upset about the regression, it seems. But it's just that if these two teams come in to do the same thing, if especially the Hawks do the same thing next year, do you just kind of do you just bite the bullet and just say, you know, we're gonna make a change, or do you just kind of ride it out? Because the Hawks have a lot of money tied up in this current team. So unless they make a trade or something and swap contracts or something like that, this team is not going to be radically different from It's not going to be radically different going into next season. So I'm not pressing the panic button. I would from panic to just calm. I'll just be worried about the way this team is kind of shaping up with Nate McMillan so far.
Yeah, I think it's too early to call on any kind of ultimatum big picture thing with Nate. But my question was just looking at these standings, how is Detroit, Orlando, and the Kings that bad every year? Them jokers been bad. The Kings been bad for 16 years in a row. 16. The last time they made the playoffs, 16 years was Kevin
2004.
Martin, Brad Miller, Ron
That'd be
Artest was on the
2004, right?
team. No, it was 06. Mike Bibby was still on the team. But I believe Sharif Abdul-Rahim was on the team as well.
That is a
So you have Mike Miller, Brad Miller at the 5, Kevin Martin at the 2, Ron Artest at the 3. I don't know who you had at the 4. That's the last time they made it, was 06. Let me look it up. Hold on. Sacramento Kings, 2000. I don't know how you're possibly that bad.
Are
for
the
that,
Kings
like
are the Kings the worst North
NBA
American
and sports
franchise?
aren't even set up like that. Like they're set up for you to be good eventually, at least 1 year, to catch off a fluke.
I think
like that's the way the league is set up. Go ahead.
You can make an argument to say that the Kings might be the worst run North American sports team there is right now. I mean, they are awful. I mean, the Browns recently made the playoffs, and in baseball, I'm not sure who would come close to being that bad. The Kings just kind of stick out to me, just ownership. I'm surprised the Kings are actually still in Sacramento, honestly. I'm surprised they're still where they are, but like they had the thing with Luke Walton and that thing with George Karl and and Biggie, and I'm sorry, Boogie. It's just Cousins. They're such a horribly run team. I can't imagine any team worse than that right now.
It can always be worse. It can always be worse is the thing. But yeah, Meta World Peace averaged 16 points per game. Mike Bibby averaged 21 a game. Bibby, folks forget, man. Folks forget how. But yeah, this is the starting. Yeah, so I guess Sharif was Sharif only started 30 games, but he was at 4. And they have Francisco Garcia. Man, these are some names, man. Bonzi Wells,
Kmart, man.
Pager coming off
Kmart
the bench.
Shot.
Yeah, Kmart with the side shot, man. He was the hooper for them. He only averaged 10 points that year. Yeah, Pager coming off the bench. Yeah. Well, he only played 31 games. He started all of them.
How far did they get in 2006? Was it the first round they lost?
Yeah, they lost to the Spurs in 6 games. But yeah, I don't know how you're that bad for that long. It's always a bright side if you want to look at it like that from a loser's perspective of like, hey, you're not the Kings, but who doesn't want to be just not the worst? Like, that's the loser's mentality. So
because the Kings, I'm looking right now, the Kings have the longest playoff drought in the NBA at 15. The closest to that are the Charlotte Hornets at 5.
Wow.
That it's that bad. I mean, they're that bad. And listen, shout out to the Sacramento Kings fan base. I mean, they show support to that team.
They're very passionate. That's why that's the reason why I'm like, when people say moving to Seattle, I'm like, the Kings fan base is probably the most passionate fan base in the league.
Yeah, I shout out to that fan base. It's just, 15 years at a playoff spot, and somehow they still got a new stadium and everything out of it. Yeah, I mean, are they the worst run franchise in NBA right now? Would you guys say?
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily. The Knicks are
Gotta
close.
be.
Yeah. But I mean, but I say all that to say this, but the Hawks, so I think the only like glimmer of hope that you have is that you played the rookies. Like eventually, like you're gonna have to, like, how do you know that you gotta, you found out that you got to steal with Kevin Huerter because you played Kevin Huerter. You found out that you had to steal with John Collins because you played John Collins. If you don't play the kids, you don't know what they can do. If you just play them, put them in like they're Skylar Mays, all due respect to Skylar Mays, you'll never know what they can do. Skylar Mays has shown some stuff.
Yeah.
So it's just like I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well, I mean, if they get in that second start, and I'm pretty sure Jalen gonna be in that deal, so we'll never see him in how he really looks in the Hawks. We'll probably see how he looks on another team. But I don't see any hope for him playing at all.
I remember when Jalen and Sharif did get to play a bit during the whole COVID stretch, and they had some rough patches. I remember people saying, people defending Nate for not playing them, saying, "Well, this is why I don't play." I'm like, Trey was terrible when you started off. You can't just look at a few minutes, say when the rookies struggle and say, "Well, they stink. That's why he doesn't play them."
Oh, shoot.
Trey was terrible. Like, Trey was bad. I remember people calling him a bust for a good bit. So, like, and plus you can't increase, if you want to trade them, you won't be able to increase their trade value if you don't play them. Like, if you want to incentivize teams to, add on with a trade package with Sharif and Jalen, teams are gonna be like, well, I haven't seen them play. Like, you got to play them at some point. And so I'm disappointed that they didn't do it, especially with the veterans struggling, because Lou Williams hasn't been great this season, and the COVID replacements were terrible. And I'm like, you could have given Jalen and Sharif, especially since we need help at the back of guard position. I was really hoping that it'll be a little bit better, because it feels like a red shirt year for those rookies, honestly.
It was just a waste in the NBA. But Bonlee, you had anything to add to that?
Nah, man. I like I said, I don't think we're ever gonna see him. I mean, I honestly feel like we'll probably see if they don't trade anybody, if they don't trade for anything. I hope Jalen Johnson gets some minutes next season, because I don't see anything happening for him or Sharif this season. But if they are to trade somebody, I'm pretty sure, I think Sharif may see some minutes next year, depending on what they do with DeLon Wright. So it's everything kind of up in the air right now. But as of now, I really don't see either of them kind of playing.
All right, so there you have it. Another episode of First and Buckets in the books. The Hawks go on a mini win streak. They win how many games? They win 2 games in a row, and things could not look worse for the future of the franchise. So, fellas,
well, let me say something. They do got the second
ahead.
easiest remaining schedule. They did say that. They have the second easiest remaining schedule.
Oh, they're only, hold on, let me pull this back up. They're only, Julian alluded to this earlier, but they're only 3 games out of 7.
Yeah.
So they
7
can
or 8 would do nice.
Oh, no. Forget 7. You need to get the 6 to get out the play-in.
Yeah.
You got to
There
catch
are
Cleveland.
only 5. That's not happening.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah.
Okay, well.
Yeah, that's dead.
Well, at least you will be at 7. You only have to play 1 playing game versus 2, right? Or you only have to win 1.
And just a question: do you guys like the play-in system? Do you guys think it adds something to the NBA, or do you think it further dilutes the playoffs? I just want to get your take on that.
It definitely dilutes the playoffs. To expand it to 10 teams, 8 teams already in years that the conferences are bad. The 8th team is really bad, or the 7th team is really bad. So I think it was already too much. It makes for good TV, like that Lakers-Warriors game, that Grizzlies-Warriors game. Those were both great TV moments. So it makes for great TV, but yeah, like as far as just like practical thing outside of money, which it's all about the bottom line. I don't think it's good.
A 10th seed should not have a chance to get in the playoffs. It's that simple for me. I don't think a 10th seed should have a chance. They're the 10th seed for a reason.
Yeah, I agree. I just wanted to see that because I know a lot of people feel the same way. Personally, I would prefer if you just while I don't like the 1 through 8, I wish the first round series went back to like a best of 5 because I don't think you need the first round to be a best of 7. Honestly, it kind of drags it like way too long for me.
I like it. Go well. The kid in me when the Hawks took the Celtics to 7, that was special.
Oh yeah, it was. Then we got blown out in Game 7.
But to get to Game 7 was the magic.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, because that team was
we were under 500,
like 7 games under 5. They were 38 and 45. Is that the right math? That's 43 games. So they were 38 and 44. Or they were 37 and 45. 37 and 45.
I think, yeah.
37 and 45.
Yeah, 37, 45.
So they were 8 games under 500. So, I mean, that's just another example, man. It's like the playoffs at 8 is already too much. You know, half the teams already make it. So, you know, I don't like the expanding it to 10 thing. But yeah, man, that's all I have. Fellas, go around, give your socials where the people can find you.
Hey, my name is Julian. You can find me on Twitter at Julian Harden 3. I also have my own YouTube channel, Cynical Peach. I talk about mostly baseball because I'm a huge baseball fan. Go Braves. I also talk about Georgia State, not Southern, obviously. So you can
Go Panthers.
All right. Yep. Go Panthers. And you can find me on there. But yeah, it's been great being on with you guys.
Thank you for coming on and talking with us, my brother. Y'all know the deal with me, man. Always _Malik ATL, Twitter, Instagram.
RashadMillen.com. Make sure you subscribe to Atlanta Sports Unlimited. Make sure you download Prize Picks and use the promo code ASU. And you can follow me on Twitter at FreeBG. Until next time.
And if they come out clean.